Hey guys, it's Brooke with Super Tutor TV. Are you planning to go to college soon? Are you looking to apply to college and wondering what can you do to position yourself so that your college application looks awesome and you can beat everybody else out? If so, this is a great video for you to watch because what we're going to talk about today is 5 activities that aren't going to help your college application so you can avoid wasting your time on these activities and spend your time instead on activities that are going to help you get into college. Before we get started, I recommend that you subscribe to our channel. All you have to do is click subscribe. There's a button below this video. And go check out supertutortv.com. I encourage you to sign up for our mailing list. That's at supertutortv.com/subscribe. We'll give you the latest on what videos are on our YouTube channel, and we'll also update you if we ever have any sales or discounts or anything like that for any of our prep products. You guys are going to be the first to know. All right, so let's get started. 5 activities that don't help your college application. The first one, volunteer work. I'm going to be honest with you. 99% of the students that I have that do volunteer work, their volunteer work really is not helping them get into college that much. And the reason is a lot of high schools have a community service requirement, right? A lot of you guys are doing community service because you have to do 15 units for school anyway. So just the fact that you've done a little bit of volunteer work doesn't always add up to the idea that you're a really involved kind of person. Now, that's not to say that all volunteer work looks bad on your college application or that volunteer work even looks bad. It doesn't look bad, but my point is that if you go and say, do some breast cancer walk on a Saturday morning or volunteer to go pet kittens in the afternoon, a lot of times volunteer work really isn't about developing a passion. It's not about necessarily developing a vision that you could take forward in the world and make a difference in the world on a huge scale. A lot of it sometimes is you being a cog in the machine of somebody else's volunteer work vision. And it really isn't going to be as impressive as a kind of activity that you've dug into and that you've made a real difference on. There are a few exceptions, and the few exceptions would be if you started a major campaign as a volunteer to create change in some way in your community, or you started an entire volunteer organization that created something or did something that nobody else has done. What colleges are looking for from your activities is to see that you have a passion for something and to see that you're very involved. Unless you're starting your own organization or doing something extremely innovative or entrepreneurial, volunteer work is not your ticket to the university of your dreams. The next activity that I don't recommend is what I would call mediocre activities. Mediocre activities fall into 2 categories for me. 1, activities that basically take up very little time and are fluff. For me, when I was in high school, I was in like the pep club. To be in the pep club, all you had to do was sign up, show up for a meeting or 2, buy a t-shirt maybe for $10, and sit in the pep club section during school assemblies. Activities like that aren't going to help your college application that much. If you're not putting a lot of time into it and it's a fluffy, silly activity, you're not going to get a lot of points. The second kind of mediocre activity that I'm going to talk about are activities that are competitive, but you are not a competitor. For example, if you're on the swim team, but you're a bench warmer, and so like you show up to practice, but you're really not that great, and it's just kind of something you do and you're not a standout and you're on JV as a senior, that's also the kind of activity that in most likelihood, it's not going to get you into college. If you're really good at something or if something is really your passion, that's when that activity transforms into something that you can write essays about or that you can pursue in college. If you're a really bad swimmer, quit the swim team and go find something else to involve yourself in where you can show leadership or where you can show involvement or where you can be a bigger part of what that organization's about. It's going to give you more to talk about as a person in your essays, and it's probably going to be more satisfying for you because you feel like you're accomplishing something, right? The third kind of activity that isn't going to help you on your college application is something you do because somebody else told you it would look good on a college application. I don't know how many students I have that sign up for activities because they think somebody told them it would look really good on a college application. Please don't do this. This could be an activity that's perfectly legitimate, that totally could work wonderfully on your college application if you liked it and if you engaged in it and if you actually cared about it. You want to do something that you're passionate about because schools are looking for passion. They're looking for you being really excited about what you do. If you're not passionate about something, you don't like something, and somebody told you to do it just to get into college, don't do it. Because the truth is you're not going to get enough out of it in order to make it into something, or weave it into your story that you're telling colleges to get you in. You need to find ways to engage with your community at your school that you care about and that resonate with you. That's how you're going to sell yourself as sort of like this involved citizen on your application. The fourth kind of activities that colleges don't care about: summer camps, mission trips, and leadership seminars. The other kind of activity that I see a lot of students putting on their college applications are these activities that are basically like 1 week of your life. A lot of students think, oh gosh, I got some letter from some leadership summit and I'm gonna go to this amazing random leadership conference over the weekend. And if I go to this leadership conference, I'll get into college. Well, let me tell you something. Colleges don't let you in because for 2 days of your life you went to a leadership seminar. What makes a difference to colleges is dedication. It's digging yourself into a particular activity or a particular organization and becoming a part of that and making it part of your everyday life. Colleges want people who are making change in their world. They want people who are going to change the world. They want people who have vision. They want people who are going to take life by the reins and take advantage of every opportunity they can get. So in general, you want to actually engage in activities that make an impact on your world and your universe and your community and your school, or that you actually are putting time in week after week, day after day, that you've dedicated yourself to. That's what colleges are looking for. They're looking for people with passion and commitment and who get involved and who stay involved. Number 5, which is somewhat related to what I just talked about, is expensive summer programs. Basically, an overview, there's a lot of different expensive summer programs out there, but what I want to tell you is do not feel like you have to put your parents into debt in order to get into college by going to some summer program. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically a lot of the elite schools throughout the US, and even not elite schools, have these sort of summer school programs that are open to high school students. A lot of times they're not necessarily taught by the faculty at the college. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And they basically offer classes that are similar to college classes. You go and you stay in the dorms possibly at the college or university, and then you're taking these courses, and it could be anywhere from 2 weeks or 3 weeks to 6 weeks or 8 weeks over the summer. And they can be really freaking expensive. They can cost $10,000, even $15,000 for a summer program. And I find that some families believe, oh, if I can get my kid into the summer program at Brown, then Brown will let them into college. And I'm just going to let you know, just going to that isn't going to get you into Brown. And I think there's this misconception that if you do this, then that's your ticket in. And it's not fair if colleges are giving students this huge advantage because some kid dropped $20K on some summer program at their school, that now they're going to let that kid in above some other kid because they had the $20K to go to this program. Your ticket in really has much more to do with how good is your application. Are you intellectually curious, and are you passionate about the world that you're in? Have you found ways to express that intellectual curiosity? That's not to say that I haven't had students go to programs like these and then get into the college that's associated with that program. I have. I had a student, for example, go to a program at Penn and then he got into Penn. But what I would say about that situation is that he was very intellectually curious about the ideas that were going on at this seminar that he went to at Penn over the summer, and it was something that aligned with his passion, and he had 5 other things that he had done in his life aligned with that passion already that he could talk about too. So my point is don't feel like you have to go to some crazy expensive summer school program in order to get into these colleges. It's not about going to that crazy summer program. It's about you developing your intellectual potential and your academic interests and exploring those however you can. So how do you do that if you're not going to go to an expensive summer program, or how have I seen people do it? I've seen people email professors at local universities that are doing research in the areas they're interested in and go volunteer at that particular university as an intern. I had one student, I think he contacted 20 different researchers in the LA area to find one who would let him sit in on his lab for the summer and do some lab research with him. But that paid off in the end because he had something to write about and he could sort of explore his interests and say, hey, I'm interested in this, but I'm not so interested in that, right? So there are lots of ways to explore your intellectual curiosity and your intellectual passions. And it doesn't have to be some expensive program. That doesn't mean don't enroll in them if you love them and if you have the means. It just means that it's not a golden ticket into college. Cool? And that's about it for this video. I hope you found this helpful. And as you go out and you try to figure out what activities should I do, what I encourage you to do again is focus on your passion, and good luck with that. Check out all of our social media. You can also check out all of our other videos here at supertutortv.com. If you're prepping for the ACT, definitely go to supertutortv.com. We have awesome video prep products where I can be like your in-home private tutor at a fraction of the cost of crazy private tutoring. So go check that out too. And I will see you guys next time on Super Tutor TV. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.